Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one and only Issa Vibe podcast here on 32-Bit YouTube channel. Make sure that you guys go ahead right now and hit that like button right out the gate. Also, please make sure that you guys also subscribe to the channel. That's right. The way that you know that it's done, it'll go from being a red button that says subscribe to a gray button that'll say subscribe. You already know the vibes, ladies and gentlemen. Check out all the rest of the content here on 32-Bit. We have content with the homie Stevie A. Smith, the homie Marcus Grant, and much more. Without further ado, we got to get into the cast of crew because you already know how we make it do what it do, baby. We're going to make it do what it do. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, stepping up to the plate, knocking out home runs fresh out the park. It's your boy, J Bats.
Woo, baby. I never get sick of that intro. That's so awesome. How you doing, Robbie?
Let's get it. I'm doing really good. One more game left of the Little League season. My Little League team won today. We put an ass whooping 10-4, tenfold. So, you know, we doing our thing. We have another staff member, another cast member, I should say, backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, the always beautiful, the always elegant, the always intelligent. Can I get a drum roll, please? Give it up for Maddie Crow.
When the fuck have I ever been elegant?
Oh, I've seen you be elegant.
I'm just joking. Thank you. I really needed that confidence boost because I'm really rolling in here just like raw tonight. I honestly have not washed my hair in like 6 days and don't have any makeup on. I'm just here.
It's a vibe.
I am fresh off of work and coaching a Little League game. I promise you, I stink just as much.
Can I start this podcast off on a negative note so it just gets better from there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a chance I might not get to stay on the whole show. I want to give not just one fuck you, a double fuck you to Oklahoma, specifically Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the rolling blackouts. Fuck you. You are not conserving energy whenever you turn my power off for 4 hours and my apartment's almost 90 degrees and then I have to crank the AC for the next 6 just to get it down to like 75. Like, get out of here with that bullshit. Stop taking away my power. I don't like it. It's not helping. Like, I don't know what we need to do differently, but fuck you because that's why I look like this.
The Southwest is literally like
fucking hot, and I don't care.
The Southwest last winter were like, look, the grid's not built to handle the cold. This summer, they're like, oh, look, y'all, we can't believe that the grid still no heat. Cheers to me, cheers to you, to the whole Vibe Tribe. What it do, dilly. Y'all ready to get into this damn thing?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Man,
it's good to be with you guys. I miss you.
I miss you all the time.
I really do. Like, I would love just to have a fan group call every night.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
Sometimes I feel like a needy girlfriend because I post to our group chat maybe like 3 times a day, but there's like a total of like 10 times that I start typing stuff out and I'm like, nah, they didn't reply to the last 3. I probably shouldn't have done this one.
That's definitely not you. You want to see needy girlfriend? My Snapchat, my Snapchat, my Facebook DMs. Yeah, no.
These girls better be careful. It's almost cutting season.
It is almost cutting season.
Back. Can't keep them all through the winter.
Which is actually what we're going to talk about to start off the show. Roster construction.
Look at me.
And when I say roster construction, no, we are not talking about fantasy football, but rather whenever you're out there playing the field, how should you construct your roster when doing so? Like, how many is too many? How should you balance dates? How do you set boundaries? Is there a main one and a few possibles? Or how do you begin to narrow down this roster? We talking roster construction. Maddie, start it off.
I mean, you always have your number one guy. You have your franchise player who, you know, or who you're scouting to be your franchise player, I should say. You always have your one-on-one. I like to let them know That's how I handle it.
100%.
You want more time? You gotta earn that shit. Like, I've got other dudes that are giving me time and attention, so what are you bringing to the table that's gonna move you into the top spot? That's how I like to play. One, no offense, but males are typically very competitive. So once you let them know there's another one in there, they're like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm pulling out all the stops, and I've noticed I get treated a little bit better. But yeah, so I let them know. When it comes to adding people to the roster, I'm very particular with my time. I don't have a lot of it, so I don't want to waste it. So in order to make the roster, you're not just bouncing on the roster. Like, you may have to wait a month before your first date, and then you better not fuck it up on the first date. And then, like, if you're basically, I like to have fun. If you can make me laugh, you got a good shot. If you can go a few weeks with talking to me without getting on my nerves, i.e. like blowing me up or like being ridiculous or throwing a fit because I didn't get back to you right away. Like, if you can pass all those little tests and then you make it to the first date, you already got a good shot.
I don't think that anyone's passing that test for me.
I'm telling you, like, these people, like, they just don't get it.
Yeah.
And so like if you can make it past all those things, then you basically just, like, you've settled on the roster spot. And then I let you know. Like, I'm very honest from that. Like, I've let dudes know, like, listen, like, you're bottom of the roster. Like, you're cringe, buddy. You have to step it up. And you know what's so funny is they're never like, what a bitch. Like, they never get mad at me. They just subtly step up their game. Like, I'm always getting texts the next morning, like, good morning, beautiful. Have a coffee on me. And then I get like a Venmo. Like, they never get upset. It's just like, all right, challenge accepted. But yeah, I have no problem telling a guy he's, French guy.
I mean, ultimately the key is honesty and being open. If that's how you want to play this, and it's like nothing good will come of this. I promise. In the dating game or in relationships, nothing good will come of being like sneaky or fake or lying. Like, be honest, be upfront. Like, if you're seeing other guys, you're seeing other girls, and you be honest about it. Be like, look, I don't know how you feel about it, but like our relationship is only this. There are some people like, and I used to treat it where it was like, there was some people I would go to the Bruins game with. There was some people I'd go to the bar with. There was some people, there was just different groups. Like, I had different cliques depending on what I was doing that day. Like, I wasn't going to go to, the Museum of Science with the same group that I'm going to go to a Red Sox game with. I just wouldn't do that. But it's like, and so, there
were
like
that with my friends too.
There was different girls in different situations. And so eventually you kind of narrow it down, but but you have to be honest. And I think when you start lying to them and lying to yourself, ultimately is when it's a problem, is when you have real issues.
I also feel like before you get into, like, you have to go full Madden mode. You have to understand, like, what am I building before you don't just go out and draft players, right? I mean, we all play fantasy football. We've all played Madden. We've built our own teams. You don't just like go out. You typically have a game plan. You know how you're starting, how you want to build. So you have to be strategic. It's the same way with your roster. And you have to be honest with yourself on what you want or what you don't want. And this is a perfect time. Like, the whole reason to date multiple people is to figure out what you like and what you don't like. So it's not a bad thing to have a roster going, but you also have to have rules. So, like, for me, like, I may have a roster of, up to 10 guys sometimes. It's happened before. It's not right now. It's more under control. But I've had a big roster before, but my rule to myself is, like, I'm not sleeping with them.
No.
So, like, like, it's not always sexual. Just because they're on the roster doesn't mean they're putting it. And I've also, like, I feel like that helps me be honest because, like, I have my boundaries, my rules, and I think that it's easier to communicate whenever you have to know what you're doing before you can communicate that to somebody else. And you also, specifically for guys, you can't just be like, hey, shawty, you're on the roster. Congratulations. Like, girls don't
No.
Like, if somebody told me that, I'd be like, all right, fuck you.
So here's the way. Yeah. So obviously there's difference. So like if you're a male,
you gotta
don't do what Maddie said and be that blunt. Like, you gotta be positioning is what we call it. Whenever we're working with clients.
Also,
it's the way
crazy
that you
hot
say
skill.
something.
Know where you fall. you know.
Absolutely. What I will say from a male's point of view, and being out there playing the field here recently, if you have to say the words, you know, oh, I'm doing too much, or oh, like you know, or sorry for doing too much, or sorry, you know, I'm being clean or whatever, you might, if you know and if you are aware, shorty, then take your own advice and heed your own advice. Okay, like you're gonna fall back. Don't be like, oh, like I'm gonna fall back, and then 5 seconds later, you're like, hi, baby, what are you doing? Like, because then you start looking crazy, and that's the whole thing that Maddie was talking about the hot crazy scale. It's like you can be really pretty, but there can be maybe a couple screws loose upstairs.
Well, yeah, but you can get away with it the better you look. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Or females, if you give good head, then you also get to move up.
Yeah.
So you either gotta have
good point.
You gotta have good looks or a good blowjob.
and I like that you said, because we'll kind of get into you know, bringing things to the table here in a sec. Oh my gosh. We're gonna get
getting
we'll
so
get into,
uncomfy. I love it.
We're gonna get into bringing things to the table here in a minute, but you know, that for me is one big thing. It's just really being self-aware. If you are talking to someone, okay, and I'm gonna preference talking to, okay, all right. If you are talking to someone,
define your talking to stage. That's another thing. You got to be honest about your expectations. What do you consider talking to?
If I have not yet taken you on a date, you do not get to lay claims to nothing. This dick is not yours. Okay. Yeah, that's how that goes, you know. So, like, with that being said and being stated, like whenever you're in the talking stage, be self-aware. Like, if you're talking to a gentleman that is, you know, playing the field, and you know, he's like, hey, I haven't found the right one yet. You know, hey, I'm newly single and I'm just trying to, you know, like really like experience this. I get that naturally us as humans, us as mammals, we want something that we can't have. And that just makes you want someone more and more and more. I understand that wholeheartedly from a psychology standpoint. But you have to respect a person's boundaries. If they're telling you, hey, we're in the talking stage, you got to respect that. You know, if they're telling you, hey, you know, but like if they're like, hey, you know, I want to progress to take you out on a date, you know, or whatever the case, or you know, if they're letting you know, hey, you might be, you know, being a little bit too clingy, or whatever the case may be. If you can visually see on social media that this motherfucker is definitely playing the field, and look, at a certain point, you know, it has to be a give and take. So I say definitely from like, I guess the reverse aspect of roster construction. If you are on a roster, be self-aware of where you are on that roster, and be aware.
Robbie must be making cuts.
He's making
cuts.
And be aware when, you know, homie is telling you,
stop texting Robbie, stop calling Robbie.
He's not about it.
He ain't having it.
It's only realistically,
Listen,
it's only out of a roster of a good few, it's only about like 2 or 3 that are doing it. Whereas like, yo, y'all are ruining for everybody else.
But like, not everybody's cut out for it, and I understand that. Like I said it myself, I am not about to come second to no bitch. Listen, I don't have to compete for attention, and I won't. And it's a little bit different when you're in the, yeah, I know it's fucked up, because I'm telling other guys this, but at the same time, like I'm out here, I'm being honest about it, but I know what I want, and I don't want to come second to somebody else. But am I going to give a few guys a chance? Then yeah, absolutely. So if they're cool with it, if they're down with it, then that's fine. If you know that you're the type of person that want to be down with it, like I want to be down with it, so I'm not going to get myself into this situation. There's been several guys that I've been like, damn, all about, and then I find out that they've got, you know, a sneaky link or an ex who still creeps around and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I'm out, you know, like if it doesn't work out, you want to come find me, like we can discuss it, but I'm not sticking around for it. And so I think that people need to be honest before they get themselves in that situation. And I will also say, and also
don't try and buy a partner with sex. Don't try and buy a partner with sex.
Why?
Please. No, a relationship based off of sex can't work.
What do you mean?
It just can't work.
They're just sending you coochie through the text message?
when
Here's
it
the
is just
thing.
being when it's
You
just being
also-
thrown, when it's just being thrown, I'm like, hi, and it's just like, aha. Then it's a little bit like,
I
yo,
know.
girl, chill. Like, hold on, let me get to know your favorite color.
Everybody has their own thing, but maybe they just want that out of you. Like, you know what I mean? Not everybody's looking for a relationship. So, yeah, do what you want. Know what you want before you bring somebody else into the situation, and be able to properly communicate that, and you won't have any issues. And like, you won't have a hard time bouncing away from something that's not right for you, or, you know, opening yourself up to something that is. I will say though, just to go off of what Robbie said, there's nothing more unattractive than when you go a little crazy and you blow somebody up, or you make somebody feel bad for not giving them your time. If you've only been talking to me for a few weeks, you have no right to demand my time. Like, you are lucky that I texted you back the next day. Do you know how many friends I have that are left on red just because I truly don't have the mental capacity to message them back all the time? Like, it's emotionally exhausting to be able to keep up with life sometimes. And especially coming from somebody who has anxiety, and I struggle with that, especially social anxiety. Like, I'm an introvert, so it takes so much of my energy and my attention just to get through the day. If I'm exhausted and I know I can't be like on my game, or I'm not going to be good conversation, I have no problem just being like, glad you had a good day, or thanks for telling me, good morning, I'll hit you back tomorrow, or something. Like, be okay with that. And if you're not, then you need to move on and just realize that, like, that person's not for you.
Look,
There's nothing more unattractive when somebody's like, you didn't talk to me today. The fuck?
Yeah, that's
Do you
just
not
the
have
worst.
friends? Do you not have a life?
Yeah,
Like,
where's the
why
fuck
are
is your
you
life?
waiting on my text message? Yeah,
I know you gotta have another motherfucker in your phone to text. Like, shit.
And it's so funny. And it's so funny when you get to like my stage, when you get to the marriage stage, and you're like, I see this motherfucker every minute of every day. Like, I don't need to talk to this person. Like, I see Meg calling me, and the first thing that runs through my mind is, I hope everything's okay. Like, when Meg calls me. And then the second thing that runs through my mind is, what could she possibly, I'm going to see her in like an hour. What could she possibly need? And that's always, it's so funny. And it's just like, and so I totally get where that comes from. And from a relationship standpoint, from someone who's like dating, like, yeah, like, you gotta be careful. Like, you gotta understand, like, this is someone's life. Like, it's just, you're trying to fit into their life as much as they're trying to fit into your life. And it's like, when you just try and dominate their life and take over every aspect and be involved in every second, it's like, hey man, like, I have my own life I gotta live. I got my own life I gotta do and still take care of. And I'm sorry, I'm not there at your beck and call, but like, I need to still take care of my own shit. And then I'll promise, if you're worth it, I'll get to you. And that's really, where I found someone who's worth it.
And that's really, that's really where it comes from. And that's kind of where I'm basing, like, you know, kind of making my cuts, like, between working in the firm, coaching little league, you know, running multiple podcasts. Football season's about to start, and I'm back on air 6 days out of the week. If I'm making time for you, please just be chill.
And it's not sustainable to be like latch onto somebody 24/7, and it's not healthy. It's just not. If you actually study like that, I am fortunate enough to where I have a ton of guy friends, like truly guy friends, that is strictly platonic. I hear a lot of shit coming from their side, which makes dating for myself a little bit easier. But then I vibe with the girls too. You know what I mean? I have a few really, really good friends. What I get from the guys and what I get from the girls are completely different. So if I was trying to get all of my needs met from a man, there ain't no way that's happening. I would be miserable and crazy, right? I would be vulnerable all the time. These guys don't give a fuck what color my nails are. But as soon as I hit the nail salon, I'm messaging my girls, what color should I get? Going between this one and this one. My boyfriend won't care. My guy friends don't give a fuck. Now, if I see a funny meme, I'm sending it to these dudes. Like, you have to be able to have a balance, and one person isn't going to be able to fulfill all your needs, and you're not going to be able to fulfill one person's needs. Like, it's just not the way it works. But if you're stable and you have a life, you won't even notice that you're missing them until you're back with them and you're like, damn, haven't seen you in a few days and I missed you. And that's good.
Give me a reason to miss you. Give me a reason to text you first. Right.
It's not even just like, because I feel like I'm just going to shoot you guys straight. I'm going to shoot the girls straight. we play these stupid ass games, and I know that you've done it because all females have done this before, where you're like, oh, he didn't text me back for a few hours. When you're sitting there not doing shit, you're choosing not to text him back, and then you get mad when he doesn't text you back, and it like turns into this game. Just fucking text. If you want to text somebody, text them back. Like if you're upset that they didn't talk to you, don't sit and pout about it. Like, don't talk to them. If they're not working with what you want to do, then be done with them. But don't sit and pout, because what happens is you don't actually work through that resentment, and then you just blow up on something fucking stupid because they slammed your car door shut.
No.
Hard. Like, don't do that. Don't do it. But if you have your own life, if you're out with your girls, if you are doing stuff, you're not even gonna notice that he didn't text you. And it's a lot more attractive to have your own life. Like it's healthy. It's better for your mental health and theirs. But girls, we gotta stop fucking playing the games.
I will say,
Maddie in 2 weeks,
so
and she's
cheesy.
reading my mail. It's like she broke my Boston book. It's like stole my phone. She's like, oh no. She's like yeah. No, she's right. Go ahead.
I just feel like these are really common dating problems.
For sure. But I will say, eventually you will get to the goal. The goal is you find someone that is so interesting and so infatuating that like you do genuinely want to spend as much time with them as possible. And that's, and that's, to me, that's a definition of love. Like, love is not like, I genuinely enjoy doing stuff with Meg. Like, I like it. Like, it's fun for me. Like, when I'm like, I want to go to a bar and watch the Red Sox game. I want to go do this. Like, who am I going to bring? Like, Meg is honestly one of the first people that I would call. I'm like, oh yeah, she's a fucking shitload of fun to be with. Like, I love spending time with her. And so
goals.
That's the goal, is to find that person. And it's like, yeah. And guess what? If they're on your nerves and spending time with them sucks and seems stressful, then maybe that person is not for you. And maybe it's not for you. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Life doesn't have to be hard and stressful. And like, you don't have to get dragged to things you don't want to do. And like, cause, I'm doing this because so-and-so was making me. It's like, this is like that's a shitty relationship. That's not healthy. Like, that's not a healthy relationship.
So
I would also recommend.
Oh, go ahead, Maddie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I would recommend sit down and talk to people about like, what's a red flag to you? Because when you do that, you're going to realize you may be a walking red flag.
Oh yeah.
If you are keeping score in a relationship, like if you're like, if you know how long it took him to text you back, if you know how many days it's been since you've hung out, if you know when the last time he paid for your meal was, like all that's keeping score. That's a fucking red flag.
That's a huge red flag.
It's good just to have some conversations, even with an opposite sex, even if it's like your friend's husband or whatever it is. I recommend just being like, hey, what's a dating red flag?
Yeah.
Just casual conversation, because you're gonna be like, shit, won't be doing that anymore. Like, it's stuff that you don't even realize, but like it really gets on their nerves. Like, I just found out the other day, this is so funny to me. One of my guy friends, he's in the league, so he gets girls. It's like very easy for him to get girls. But he found this girl that he really liked. Like, she was chill, blah blah blah, and he was like, I can't fucking do this anymore, guys. And we're like, what happened? Like, for weeks he's been going on about this bitch is perfect, and he said she will slide her big toe into my sock and take my socks off.
I
was like, I can't do it. And I was
I do that to myself, but like someone else doing that.
Oh, that's mad
but
creepy.
It's so funny to me. Like, he was like, that's a huge red flag if you're rubbing your feet all over me, like unwanted. I would have never thought of that. I've never done it. But now I know, like, I'm not going to be rubbing my feet up on this dude. So, talk to people.
Boomerang? No.
All right.
No.
There's this old 90s movie. It's got Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx. I think Bill Bellamy's up in it.
And you were going to go with Bill Belichick.
That would be hilarious. That would be a funny cast. Bill Belichick and Eddie Murphy were in a movie.
Bill Belichick ain't black enough for this movie.
Spike Lee.
But it's a
documentary.
I think Spike Lee may have directed this. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this.
Of course he did.
Sounds like it.
Look. As soon as me saying that, black people are like, no, it was Hyde Williams. It was John Singleton. But no, check out that movie, because there's a scene where Jamie is laying in the bed. He takes a chick home after the bar. He's like, oh yeah, you gotta get it. We gotta have fun. Gets in the bed and pulls the covers up. Like, they get done doing the deed, and they're asleep, and he pulls the covers up, to lay down, and he looks down and sees Shorty's feet. And she got goddamn talons. Fucking cords and bunions and shit. The motherfucker was throwing up gang signs too.
Nope.
So this allows a perfect segue following that previous topic. Maddie brought up one of the key words, key context clues. John, you also brought up as well. How important is what you bring to the table in a relationship, and what do you bring to the table, and what should a significant other match that with? JB.
Oh man, I think it's important. I think it's important what you bring to the table. I think it's very important because who you are as a person before you get into a relationship, how sure-minded you are, how much you love yourself, how healthy you are, all those things financially, emotionally, with your family, with your relationships, all these things matter because you go into a stable relationship and you have a straight mind. If you're going in and your life's a wreck and you don't love yourself and you're drinking all the time and like life is just a array and shit just doesn't feel right, it's hard to find a good, healthy relationship when you're not in balance.
Yeah.
And so you need to bring something because otherwise this person doesn't want to be your caretaker and they don't deserve to be your caretaker. Like they want someone to bring some shit to the table too. And so I think it's very important what you bring to a table. It's not just what the opposition brings. It's all about what you bring and what makes you desirable. I think, if we're getting into personally, I think two things that I always like to bring to my table, I always thought I brought to the table in a relationship was positive energy and like positivity. I would always try and that's one thing I have in my life where I'm always trying to look positively. I look with empathy and think with love and think in the positive mindset, like for sure. And so that's one thing I definitely always try and do in my life. And it helps in relationships because it's fucking tricky, man. It's really hard. And when you get into like a life relationship, a marriage, shit is not easy. And so if you go into it with a negative mindset all the time, you're going to fight about bullshit constantly. Trust me, you will. But if you go into it with a positive mindset and a healthy mindset, like, no, we'll figure it out. We'll get it done. It takes this, it takes that. Okay. I'll figure it out. Do I got to pick up an extra bar shift? Hell yeah, I'll do it.
Yep.
Whatever we got to do to make this work, which leads me into my next point is, personally, I pride myself on my work ethic. I work hard. I just like to, and I've always liked to.
I love that you said that
because I like this reward of like, yeah, I put some effort in and I get some shit out. And lately, my effort when I was young, it's always been in restaurants and bartending, and lately that effort has come back in tenfold. And I didn't know, 19-year-old me learning how to mix drinks would do what he's doing now. But hard work took me to where I'm at. And so that's the type of shit that like I look back at and I go, yeah, you know what? If I had just been opening up Bud Lights and pouring shots of Jameson my whole life, then yeah, I'd probably be at some towny bar opening up Bud Lights and pouring shots of Jameson my whole life, which is fine. But luckily, my hard work and passion for the skill brought me to where I'm at. And so I think I take that same hard work and approach with my relationships because I know it's not going to be easy. I know life throws curveballs at you constantly. And if you're not working hard at a relationship to be better than it was the day prior, then it's going to be a long 80 years. I promise you that. I promise you that it's going to be a long lifetime of trying to deal with bullshit.
I love that you brought up work ethic because you both will be proud of me when I say this. And then right after this, we're getting into Maddie's take here. Robbie is done fucking with broke shorties. I'm not doing it no more. Yeah, so I love that you brought that up. I love that you brought that up because I was like, as soon as you said it, I was like, ding.
You gotta have some work ethic. You gotta bring that shit to in life. You need some work ethic, and you gotta bring it to a relationship. Because if you're just gonna be lazy, if you're gonna be a lazy lover, don't be a lazy lover. Oh, hey,
puppy working to get some screen time.
Yeah.
He's like, my mom doesn't pay attention to me.
No,
Maddie, your
really
take.
Quick, I have to tell you guys. Huh? I have to tell you guys this story because it's hilarious. My dog is very vocal. Obviously, he's my dog. He takes after me, I feel like. But he's kind of an asshole. And he's not a morning person. And I am. So, like, I get up every morning at 5. I run. I do my thing. I make him get up and go potty around like 5:45, 6 every morning. He gets pissed. This dog, if I could let him sleep in, this dog sleeps in until like 1 p.m. The dog does not want to get out of bed. That's just his thing. He's getting to be an old man. So anyways, this morning I slept in. So I didn't wake up till like 5. I woke up at like 5:30, hung out on my phone till about 5:45. Anyways, I have stairs to get down. And so I was holding him because he's like dead in the morning. He plays dead whenever I try to take him out to go potty. He's like, and I'm like, you're not sleeping. I know you're not dead. Like, come on. So I had to carry him. So,
wake up.
no, he does this. Like, he literally makes his body go limp, and he's like, and I'm like, I know you're not asleep. But anyways, so I'm like walking down the stairs this morning, and I was like half asleep, holding him in my slippers, and I just busted. Like, I slept all the way down, just straight slide. This dog's on me. Like, he doesn't hit the stairs at all. Like, I've got him. I'm holding on to him. I'm taking all the force. Like, I'm bruised. Like, here down.
You Navy sealed this and just saved this dog.
So that he was fine. And I'm like, is anything broken on me? Like, I'm literally like,
that bad.
Am I okay? Yeah. And he goes, and literally just growls at me and walks back up the stairs. So much attitude.
Pissed. Hey, he's like a mama. He's like mama. Got that.
Fuck you. That's what you get for waking me up.
Yeah, that's too funny.
He did not go potty this morning, to say the least. Not outside. I know. He hid under the bed. Okay, so my topic.
So what do you? So bring to the table. Basically, what is it important? What is it
you bring to the table? And what do you want from a significant other to bring to the table?
You're fine.
Good. That's a perfect reason to be distracted.
I feel like the biggest thing that I'm looking for at this point in my life is someone who's genuine, because we're either gonna work out or we're not. But pretending to be something that you think that I want is only going to get you cut, or it's not going to get you any time, because like, I'm not interested in what you think that I want. Yep. I'm interested in who you are, because I want something that's sustainable. I don't want to get with a guy who can only keep that up for 3 months. Like, I want to know who you are, what you're into, and I'll decide whether that works with me or not. And you should be doing the same with me. Like, you should not be worried about what I think of you. You should be worried about what you think of me. Like, it should strictly be judgment in the beginning. Like, don't worry about what I like or trying to impress me. Like, you should be worried, like, is this bitch impressing me? Like, I feel like that's the type of mindset that I want somebody to come in with. I want them to be genuine. I agree with John B, where my type of guy is going to have goals, and he's going to have to be driven, and he's going to have his own life. I don't want to come in and support somebody. I don't want to be supported. I want a partner. I want somebody who I can kick it with. If I want to go hang out and watch a game with you, cool. If I say, hey, like, I need some time to myself tonight, can you go hang out with your guy friends? Can you get the fuck out of this house? Like, I wish
a shorty would tell me that. Please, baby, please tell me some shit like that. God.
But like, I'm not gonna be shy about expressing my needs. Now I put in a lot of work to get to this point where I'm very comfortable and confident in myself and what I want. And I want the same in return. I want somebody to be able to say, hey, I had a rough day at work. Any chance you want to go out to dinner with your girls tonight? Like, I just need some space. Whatever it is, like, I want somebody who is secure within themselves that can come out and say, this is what I want. This is what I need. Somebody who can communicate like that. Somebody who's hardworking and has goals. Like, I don't want somebody who gets comfortable. When you get comfortable or complacent, shit starts going downhill. Like, we're going to continue to be the best we can be. I want somebody who can help me grow. And I want somebody who values the same things as I want long-term down the road. You know, like, I would like to have kids. I want to be able to travel. So I think in order to come into my life, you have to be able to know what your life is going to look like, or you're not going to cut it. Because if you're unsure about that stuff, that's fine, but you're not going to waste my time while you figure it out.
Yeah. No, already. Both of you had amazing points of view. And I'm definitely gonna some of those things I align with. Pretty much all of those things I align with already. So I'm always gonna utilize both of you guys' viewpoints to just give myself a reminder. One thing that I'm gonna say, personally, that I bring to the table, similar to what John, hard work, dedication. Not to be all Floyd Mayweather on this shit, but hard work, dedication every goddamn day. I'm gonna wake up. I'm up 6 in the morning. I'm back home, 5. And even after that, I'm studying, knocking out courses and stuff like that. So I'm always going to bring that hard work and dedication. Financial support is definitely gonna be a thing, and that's something that we're always gonna have. So those are things that I'm gonna bring to the table. Being a very compassionate, very, very, very compassionate, empathetic type of person, type of lover. I'm great at aftercare, for those that know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm the type of person, like hey baby, we can't go get me a glass of water. Like, I'll go get you a glass of water. I'm a very, very caring person. I'm always gonna put you before me. That's just the way that I am. That's pretty much my toxic trait personally, is the fact that I'll put others before myself. But those things aside,
So let's dive into that. Why do you think you do that?
Because I'll be honest with you. I'll just
Because you
tell
want that
you.
in return? Or?
No, I'll tell you exactly. From my therapist's perspective, it's just a natural reaction, because growing up, I was never given love, so I give people the love that I think that I should have been given. And I don't expect anything in return. That's another thing that I bring to the table. I have no expectations. I could do bad by my goddamn self. I'm not gonna sit here. And when I say, let me make sure I preference this. When I say like expectations, like or we're talking like over the top, like outwardly ungodly things. Why am I just gonna set myself up for disappointment? If I vibe with you, I vibe with you.
Do you think, though, just in general, not just in your situation, do you think that we as humans treat others the way that we want to be treated, like subconsciously? Like, do you think that that's something that you're looking for in return? Like, would you like somebody to be more nurturing to you? Really?
I definitely do. For me personally, I do need a nurturing partner, because of how much work and schoolwork, and then also like running the businesses puts on me. So I do need a nurturing person. I like the head rubs, I like the cuddles and shit like that. I like the, hey, go have a night out with your boys type of shit. But at the same time, I don't go out looking with the intent of like, you got to treat me exactly how I treat you. And I think that's also why I've ended up in a lot of fucked up abusive relationships, because I've ended up with partners that, have, I didn't fully get to know them, or I didn't know, certain things that make them snap, or I didn't know they had fucking daddy issues, or abandonment issues, or different shit like that, which would make it hard for me to be like, hey, I'm going out with the guys to go play poker. Oh my gosh, you're leaving me. And then like a fucking meltdown happens. I didn't get to know those things. So I think that's like a catch-22.
I do want to cut in on that. If you do have baggage from the past, is what we're going to call that, like the daddy issues, PTSD, anxiety,
trauma.
If you have trauma, if you've been through shit, it's not your partner's responsibility to make you better. That's on you.
Yeah, go to therapy.
That's what John was trying to say. Is he was saying like, you can't be. It makes it so much harder when you're bringing obstacles into a relationship, because relationships are hard anyways. You're taking two people and trying to force them into being one unit. Like, that's hard. Anybody who's played on a team before, like, even when you love your teammates, like, they piss you the fuck off sometimes. Like, how are you going to miss that wide open layup? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's how dating is. It's like, what were you thinking when you made that decision? But we can't date ourselves, right? Yeah. And so you have to be able to compromise. But when you're bringing in all these obstacles on top of just normal relationship stuff that's already hard, it makes it so much worse. But if you know that if you have abandonment issues or something like that, or if you have control issues, go see a therapist, because it's not just going to help that relationship, it's going to help you in your entire life. Eventually that person may die, and then what are you going to do?
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, but for real, it's a kind of fucked up to think about, but like, you're mad at them for going to a poker night, like, bitch, you gonna crawl in the coffin with him? Like, I don't understand.
I had
for real. Like, if you have that issue, then you gotta go handle it.
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that, because the one chick that flipped out about me being at a poker night, me and her, we were together for 4 years, right? We were together for 4 years. Had a beautiful life together. Had a townhome together. Had 2 cars together. Like we were doing the damn thing. And my mom's had actually, you know, her and my mom's was having a conversation one night, and my mom's was like, fuck you, get mad. I'm gonna speak just like my mom. I'm gonna just keep it real. What the fuck you mad at this nigga for going to the goddamn poker game? What the fuck wrong with you, Shauna? She turned around. She's like,
We're dropping names on this podcast now.
I don't give a damn about this one. This is in the past. Shauna Church, like, well, yeah, but like, you know, I'm just worried, like, what if something's gonna happen to him? You know, like, oh my god, which is
if
like
it's
a bullshit
gonna happen,
excuse.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, exactly.
It's gonna happen. You can't stop it. Like, that's what I don't understand is what are you trying to control? Because if he wants to go out and fuck around, all he's gonna do is lie to you.
So mom's turns around.
With his guy friends, he's be like, all right, I'm gonna go see my mom. Me and my mom are going to dinner.
Mom turns around.
He's not.
Mom's turns around and she's like, the fuck you gonna do? Crawl in the goddamn coffin with this motherfucker when he dies? Here come Shorty, turn around. Yes.
Like, you're going in the bathroom and wiping his ass for him? Like, I don't understand. It's like, that's not healthy. If you're doing that, I promise you, I'm not trying to call you out right now, but if you have that behavior, if you've had those tendencies, go get a therapist. And you may have to try a few. I promise you, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but your life is going to be significantly better. Like, I promise, every aspect of your life, because like, you gotta focus on yourself, you know, guy, girl, whatever. Like, you're your number one, like MVP right here. This should be your main focus, is yourself. And then you get to enjoy everything else when you're not so worried about anybody else. It goes back to the same thing when I said when you're dating, like, you shouldn't be like worried about what they think about you. Like, bitch, you should be worried about, do you like them?
Yeah, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of another person. And that goes for, you know, pets, significant others, kids, everything.
Others. I love when the accent comes out.
Here's how I'm gonna wrap this topic before we segue into the next thing that we're gonna talk about. What I need you to bring to the table for me and for me personally. I already said, you know, no mediocre. Shout out to T.I. Iggy on that one. No mediocre. I can't do the whole like I work a lot. I need you to be on your grind. I am a big person of that power couple type mentality. I need you to be out there grinding. I don't care if you got an OnlyFans or something, girl, but do something. Shit. Hell, I'll even help you. I'll co-star them motherfuckers.
Robbie's like, I don't care if I have to come see you at the strip club. Slide down that pole.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, have a job, like straight up.
Sounds like I'm fucking out.
I listen. Picking someone up from the strip club after their shift is an awkward. That's an awkward thing. That's awkward.
I'll never mess with a stripper again. I'll never mess with a stripper again.
This is mad awkward. It's just,
who do girls and strippers I am
although male bartenders in Boston are kind of the male. There's some of us are. I did some hoe tendency shit behind the bar to make money, so I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
So that's the first thing.
I need to dive deeper into that. I'm gonna need an off-air podcast to explore that a little bit.
That's when we open up a Patreon for the Patreons.
We might just do that.
We'll discuss the bar life of John Badalino from the age of 19 to about 26, when it was just chaos. It was just pure chaos.
Do you know what we should do?
Yeah.
This is such a good topic idea. We should invite on one of my exes or one of my guys on my roster to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, you want to go for it? Go for it. That sounds hilarious to me.
I think it'd be so funny.
Yeah.
The second thing that I'll say is looks. Like, if all you're bringing to the table is looks, listen, baby, I'm a sapiosexual, okay? I get turned off of your mind more than your body. Now, your body is amazing. I'll always test drive that motherfucker like a Maserati, but at the same time, shawty, listen now, hear me out. You gotta have something more to you, okay? You can't just because you look good. Can you read a book? All right, like, I need to know, like there's some intelligence between those two ears. All right.
Does your girl need to be smarter than you?
Good
that's a huge. If she is, oh hell
that's what
yeah.
I look for.
Oh yes, let's.
I want to grow. Like,
yes,
something. You know?
Yes, please be smarter than me. Yes, please be smarter than me. God, please be smarter than me. And then the third thing that I'm gonna say is just have a good heart and like be supportive, because I am I am kind of one of those dudes that like I said, I work a lot, but that's also because like apartment, electricity, like I live in a nice ass fucking area. That's it's not cheap. I'm about to like turn around and get like a new car with this next little thing that's about to happen with my job. So
Good
like
for you.
Nice.
thank you. Yo, shout out to my firm, which remains undisclosed.
Mhm.
But no, like, so just different things like that. Like I really, really need a woman that's supportive because it's hard out here. It's tough, so yeah, like rub my head, let me know, hey, go chill with the homies. Let me know when you're having a bad day, communicate with me, so that I can give you space or things of that nature. Just a good communicator and someone that's supportive. But those are my three things that I would like a significant other to bring to the table. Let's go ahead and get into this very next topic. And this is the music one right here.
Oh God.
Some wild shit was said recently, and John is not exactly happy about it. When I told him this, he was like, "What the fuck did he just say?" T-Pain said that Tupac would have gotten ate the fuck up, end quote, lyrically by rappers in today's industry if he was still alive.
That's embarrassing.
What are your thoughts on this? I don't care.
They want attention.
I was gonna say, I think I think that is a controversial clickbait line because T-Pain just wants to make headlines. You don't honestly think that. First of all, you can't honestly think that. And second of all, Tupac isn't. That's the other thing about Tupac too. He is not known as like the most lyrical rapper of all time. Like what made him great wasn't that he was some amazing lyricist. Like he doesn't that'd be like being like, oh, Steph Curry's not great at dunking. It's like, okay, like I don't care. Or like, Larry Bird didn't have handles. It's like, okay, that's not what he was known for. Like, so it was just kind of a weird to call a great out for lyricists, which he is, and he's also no slouch. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not a bitch. He's a good rapper, but his presence, his aura, who he was for hip hop as an icon in terms of changing the style, his freestyles, his whole mentality. That's what made Tupac so great. Not
being a revolutionary.
Yeah, people don't sit here and say he was he's as lyrical as like a Lil Wayne. Like hell no, of course. Like it's a different game. It's a different era, and so. It's just funny how people want to use other people's name for clout. It's like, forget it. Why are you talking about Tupac? Yeah, why are you talking about Tupac, T-Pain? Why are you doing it? Why are you throwing dirt on Tupac's name right now? He ain't do nothing to you.
He probably called up. He probably called up Unc, and he was like, "Hey, Unc, can I get a Tupac? You got the Death Row records right now. Can I get that Tupac sample?" And Soup was like.
Crazy.
He probably what happened. He was sitting there high as fuck, faded, a little drunk, a little high, and he's watching the conspiracy YouTube videos about Tupac still alive, and he's like, "I'm about to resurrect this bitch."
Yeah, all of a sudden a freestyle drops from Tupac.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna let the bitch who made "I Fell in Love with a Stripper" call me out. No way. He just rises from the grave and drops a banger. It'd be unbelievable.
First off, fuck your bitch and the click you
claim. The click you claim. West side, how we ride. That'd be unbelievable.
1 year
That'd be unbelievable.
Quarantine for COVID was bad. Bitch, I've been out.
Bro.
Him, Elvis, they all come back in a spaceship. They just fucking fuck the game up. They fuck the game up.
Bro, like, yo, for real, man. Like when I heard
honestly, why is that not a movie?
Would be
yo, right? Rappers coming back from the dead to battle people. No, so one thing I wanted to add, maybe to kind of give us a little bit of extra context, because I think that you're both right in that this was a little attention grabby. Let's remember, T-Pain is now more profitable. I mean, his royalties are still coming in and paying him from bartender, I'm in love with a stripper, so on and so forth. And he's been trying to go around and get picked up by Swiss Beats and them to do a versus against either him and Akon. This also comes in the exact same week that he clowned Chris Brown and called Chris Brown a princess because Chris Brown was upset over his first week album sales off his new album and the fact that no one was promoting his new album aside from
I didn't
Oh,
know
he must
Chris
be about
Brown
to drop
dropped
something
it.
if he's picking this many fights.
And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, like, is there maybe a new T-Pain album that I'm not gonna buy that's about to come out? Like,
I fuck with T-Pain sometimes.
I mean,
Not the whole
if
album,
I'm
but he's got
hammered,
if
I'm
it's a
hammered,
throwback,
I'll
if
listen to
it's Thursday,
yeah.
Thursday.
I mean, he had some heat back in the day. Yeah. Oh,
What was
man.
didn't he have I'm a Flirt?
No. He had that with
I'm
R.
a
Kelly. Yo, he had that song with R. Kelly. So
Wait, you guys don't remember
wait.
that song?
I do remember that song. Oh, I do remember that song. Really
That
quick
was
to
my
call out
ringtone in
T-Pain.
like 6th grade.
T-Pain, you did songs with Kells. That motherfucker got locked up. You did what, one or two or three songs with Chris Brown before Chris Brown got locked up. Like,
Okay, in his defense, most of them have been locked up.
you did a song with Tory
most of the
Lanez and he
rappers.
shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot.
How the
He
fuck?
did?
I still don't know.
Wait,
how that
when did
happened.
this happen?
Recently,
Bro, that happened
like
like
within the
really?
past
that happened
year,
during
right?
COVID. That happened during COVID. They were at a COVID party and he was
Been
like,
that long?
yeah, and apparently Tory Lanez was like, dance, bitch, and then fucking went pop. It's like,
Tory went buck wild in this party. He went wild
like,
herp
but
in this party.
apparently
She
he
said
wasn't
something
the one who
like-
did it.
She was like, I survived the ghetto to become rich and famous and get shot in the fucking butt.
It's like your freaking manager is former MLB player, fucking what's his name, Carlos Correa or something like that. Like what are you talking about? Like, no.
That's hilarious.
Really quick though, to say that Tupac is not literal, this is the first 5 bars. The first 6 bars of one of his very, 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 very early works of art called If I Die Tonight. And he said, and the beginning opens like this. It's for those who are in love with alliteration, you're gonna enjoy this. They say pussy and papers, poetry, power, and pistols. Plotting on murder, motherfuckers, where they get you. Picturing pitiful punk niggas, copping please. Puffing weed as I position myself to clock G's. My enemy scattered a suicidal situation. Never to witness the wicked shit that they was facing. Pockets is packed with presidents, pursue your riches. Evading the player, hating tricks while hitting switches.
Yeah.
The alliteration, I don't know anyone that is, you're rapping, in order to rap that, so how many syllables that you're fitting is that? So if anyone has never written a rhyme or written music, allow me to give you a little peek to fit that amount of alliteration and to be able to do that at that speed. And when you guys listen to this song and you guys hear the beat, it sounds like completely poetic, and that is poetic when you really start to digest, you know, what he's talking about. Because in the song he's talking about like, hey, what would happen if something did happen to me tonight, you know? And just the way that he is hitting every single syllable, that's hard. You have Eminem, Wayne, Drake doesn't even do. No one else does that. Nobody else does that. That is a. You know who really did that before Pop? Rakim. And Rakim is the rapper who taught all of these other rappers to do your 8 bars, boom, 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 and then you know you do another 8, and then he had that is his rhyme scheme. So to see even before Pop, for him to take something so just prolific in a style that was very hard to recreate, and that's just one song, and he's done this multiple times because that's kind of how he rhymes. And then you see that style then passed on to, you know, Wayne, and you see that style passed on to M, and you know, hell, even Jay-Z has a couple of songs where he'll kind of go in and do it. You know, J. Cole will do it sometimes. Kendrick. So like to see some of these greats of today still utilize the style that Pac put down, and the style that, you know, guys like Rakim and, you know, the Big Daddy Kanes and so on and so forth. You're T-Pain, you're bugging. You're bugging to even say this. Go through this man's whole discography. And I'm sorry, lyrically, the fact that he could be lyrical and then also simultaneously be a revolutionary, I don't think that realistically, anyone today, if we're just talking pure rap and pure talent, Okay, yeah, Eminem would beat Pac. Yeah, Wayne would probably beat Pac. Like, I have no problems admitting those. But if
I
we're
don't think
combining,
so because I feel like he would have adapted to the game. Like I think it's so
Yeah,
hard there. You're talking about this is like when people are like, "Oh, Braun and MJ." You can't compare them.
exactly.
It's a different game. It's a
well,
Exactly.
different
Pac,
game.
I love that you brought that up because Pac did adapt when he went during those
Yeah.
Death Row record days, because he wasn't running around screaming California Love in his early work. In his early work, he's talking about Brenda's got a baby.
Mhm.
You know, he's talking about, you know, fight the power and, you know, being the rebel from the underground. And, you know, he was very much in his early days of revolutionary. And to Maddie's point that she just brought up, when he signed with Suge, that's when we started getting California Love. That's when we got Hit 'Em Up. What other songs did we get from that era? Like the songs didn't have as much of a message. It was more just gangster rap at that point. So Maddie's right. He would have adapted. I like that. I like that take, Maddie. God damn. Good shit.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna end on that note because I gotta
Okay.
hop to a meeting. But I love
Okay.
you guys and I can't wait to kick it. You
Bye,
know,
Maddie.
Absolutely.
FaceTime me, call me, let's kick it. All right. Goodbye. Have a
Love
good
you.
rest of the show.
See ya.
And with that being said, and with that being stated, we are going to get into a fuck you of the day.
This one's gonna be pretty short and sweet. My fuck you of the day is to cancer and anyone who's dealing with cancer.
Fuck cancer.
This is the anniversary of my father-in-law's passing tonight, so I was
sorry.
drinking. It's okay. You know, it's okay. It's okay. But I was drinking gin and tonics for him and Mike. I know you're up there enjoying all this content I put out for you. You're half the reason why I do it, because when he was sick, he would always tune in. He was my number one fan. He would listen to all my podcasts, read all my articles. And so, you know, I love him to death, but fuck cancer. So my fuck you of the day is simple. I hate it. It sucks that we have to deal with it. And there's no fun way to go around it. And it's a terrible, terrible disease, man. And it just sucks. And you feel helpless as a family, and it rips a huge hole out of your heart, and it does it in an instant. And so it just sucks. So fuck cancer.
No, I'm in complete agreement with that. You know, and just for you to open up and talk about that, man. I mean, first off, big props to you. Much love. I lost a grandmother to breast cancer, you know. So I know what that's like, but at the same time, I know that every day I have somebody looking down on me, that is there, and I'm not, and believe me, I am not the most religious person in the world by any means, but I do believe that I do have a guardian angel that is looking over me, and has helped, you know, kind of drag me through some of the things and the hardships that I've been through. You know, so there at the end of a tunnel, there's always, you know, like a light. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, you're giving that same thing. You know, he's still listening to your pods. He's still reading your articles. You know, just not here with us physically on Earth. You know, so I appreciate you for even opening up about that, brother.
Thank you. I wish my fuck you was funnier. Usually my fuck you is like my rant, and it gets to be funny and silly and all that. But no. Today I had to be serious today for Mike, because it's you know, it's a sad day.
But there's also, but see, here's the thing, and that's what this show does, and that's what this show is here for. I mean, we're any and every topic that we talk about. I mean, I guess mainly outside like the music, or when we talk about like sneakers or whatever. Any and every topic that we talk about is here to help people that are probably going through some of the same shit. I mean, yeah, we're venting and we're talking about our own personal lives. Like, yeah, we're being very open on this show. We let you guys into our lives, get to peel the curtain back a little bit. But y'all are going through some of the same things. And never forget that you guys are viewing this, you're human too. If you or a loved one is dealing with this terrible disease, you know, dealing with cancer, having to fight through it. One, don't stop fighting. Do not give up. Two, you know, if you're the person that's not dealing with it, be supportive, be there with those family members. And three, you know, get out there, like do you know, do charity events, you know, do walks, you know, do runs, participate in, you know, in just different events that may be happening in your city, different charitable events. If you're Scott Fishbowl is happening right now, people. If you're looking for a charity to donate to, pick. There's how many different types of cancer? Pick any one and donate to one of those. You know, but that's that. No, I like that you were willing to be open, and I like that we were able to kind of close this one out on a serious note here. Because like I said, there's people out there that are going through it.
And reach out if you are. Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody, because
Hit me up.
I promise you, all it takes is, you know, hey man, we could jump on a phone call, we could jump on a Zoom. Robbie's called me, you know, in the middle of the day. I'll pick up, man. I understand what it's like to go through. If you text me like, hey, you know, my family's going through some shit right now, I need some help, but you know, I'm there. I get that. If we're not there to pick each other up, that's a bad. I like to think of myself as a villager in this tribe, and if I don't pick up my tribesmen, then I'm a bad villager. So call me if you need me, or if you just want to shoot the shit, call me. You know, hit me up if you just want to shoot the shit and talk about Scott Fishbowl too, because we could always do that. But if you need me, for sure, reach out. Please reach out. You know, Twitter at FTLS_JBats. You know, DM me. I'll get you my number. We can hash some things out. Absolutely.
I feel like that's a perfect note to end on. Tell people where they can find you.
Oh yeah, fine. This one actually do follow me this time. Follow me at FTLS_JBats, because you have to be following me to DM me. So follow me, DM me. Then, you know, I got that shit on lock. So all that. So listen, but for real though, it is pumped. You know, fantasy football is getting into full swing. Scott Fishbowl's live. I'm getting ready to do a bunch of charity stuff myself with the fantasy coaches and the Humane Society. We're doing a podathon there. There's a mental health podathon. This is the fun time for me.
Yep.
I'm super active. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always doing some sort of podathon. I'm always talking fantasy football, whether I'm with the fantasy coaches, I'm guesting on other shows. Marcus Grant's coming on the fantasy coaches next week. Shout out MG, the boss, the homie, Dilly coming on the show. Shout out my guy. So yeah, we're doing big things at fantasy coaches, and I don't normally plug my work and my fantasy stuff, but it is starting to pick up. It's starting to ramp up. Like redraft is coming around. The FTLS draft, the big league I'm in, is right around the corner. So it's palpable. Football is coming, man. It feels good. I like it. It's coming. Football is coming.
It felt good to be in a redraft draft with SFB.
Oh, was like, yes. And that's the thing. Scott Fish really is like that to me is like the kickoff to fantasy football season.
Yeah,
Scott Fish.
I love what MG said about Dynasty. He was like, Dynasty is just a bunch of people playing for a season that's never gonna happen. You know,
or it happens and they try and tell you that it's an outlier and you should sell. The Cooper Cup argument, like, oh, you finally have a player that broke out and is doing historical shit. You don't want him on your team to have fun, like,
and that's the exact Rose.
Trade him away for peak value. I'm like, why? Have fun.
That's the exact Rose that he had pointed out. So it's nice to, you know, have redraft season here, and it actually, you know. This is the original fantasy football, you know. Redraft is like kind of like the original. So speaking of redraft, make sure you guys check me out, Rumboyz Robbie, Rumboyz spelled a Z NET on all other social media, but on my Twitter, Rumboyz Robbie, because we're gonna finish up filling in these all 22 leagues. So there's that. We're gonna have 2 all 22. We might actually have 3. I might do one where I just like have it a free for all, one where I'm gonna do Rumboyz versus our viewers, and then another one where I do Issa Vibe versus our viewers.
Nice.
So that'll be
That's an interesting format. I can't.
Oh
wait to
yeah,
get into that.
I'm
I
so
can't wait to get into
excited.
that.
No, we're probably gonna start drafting like real fucking soon, like next
Dope.
weekend. Now as for all the other leagues that I'm going to be hosting this year, last year I did 5 for charity, and 2 for money. I want to say, this year we're probably going to do 3 for money, and we will probably stick with our same 5 for charity. Okay. But that's yet to be determined. So make sure that you guys are on the lookout for that here in the next coming of weeks, because August we're spending the whole month fucking drafting with each other. Outside of that, like, comment, and subscribe. You already know it's a vibe. And also check out all of our other content here on the YouTube channel. All right. We have amazing content creators giving you the best of the best heat. All righty. Outside of that, John, anything else you want to add?
Nothing. Peace and love, baby. Go in peace and love.
You've got mail.
Fucking goddamn it. That shit hates me.
Love it. You
All
got mail.
Let's
Hope they really feelin' when they see a nigga run it off top. No, a nigga can't be stopped. Popping like corn in the pot. You know that I'm hot. The homie just rolled on the op.